Hi, my name is Charlie Thompson and I own the company Property Investing Limited with my business partner Lara Zimmerman. We call ourselves Investing with Ease because we believe that the deals that we put to investors, whether they're experienced investors or people that have money that would like to invest and have never really done property investing before, we like to think that working with us, then anybody can invest in property with ease. If you're watching this video, then you're possibly looking at considering buying one of our deals, okay? I just wanted to run through what makes us slightly different to the majority of investment companies out there that are sourcing deals or finding deals for investors. Now, the way in which we calculate our deals, we try and take everything into account. So I've got a case study of an example deal that we've sold, and I just wanted to run through the figures just to let you know that when you're looking at a summary, or whether you've received one of our newsletters and you can see the summary, money in, finder's fee, etc., how we've got to those figures, what's been broken down, and what to expect when working with ourselves. So I'm just going to share an Excel spreadsheet, and hopefully this will help you understand the kind of detail that we go into. So this is an exact case study. This is a property that we sold only a few weeks ago. You can see here the current market value. So the current market value was sitting at 64,950. Now we try and find properties below market value. That doesn't always work, but from our point of view, yes, receiving a property below market value, it's excellent. But as long as the cash flow is good and you're getting a good return on investment, then any property deal is really worth looking at. So we agreed this property deal at 55,000, which gave us a 15% below market value deal. The current rent, now this property was a 3-bedroom property that was to be converted into a 4-bedroom HMO. So some of you may not understand the terminology, HMO, return on investment, that type of thing. We will be doing various different videos to explain that in a little bit more detail. But this property was for an advanced investor looking at converting a 3-bedroom property into a home of multiple occupancy and renting out 4 rooms in this property to 4 different tenants. So the rent that would come back on this property was 1,350. You can see the rental calculator there. I'm not going to go run through that. But when buying this property at 55,000, a buy-to-let mortgage, you get 75% loan to value. Your deposit that you need to find is 25%. Okay, so 25% here is 13,750. So we've allowed for that in the overall money in on this deal. Our finder's fee is £3,000. We allow for the stamp duty and legals. You can see here how they've been broken down. So the stamp duty for this property, stamp duty is based on 3%. Majority of the properties that we look to buy. You can also see the legal fees that have been broken down here, and all the extras that we've included in buying this property, because we don't want any surprises coming along further on down the line. The mortgage arrangement fee we've allowed for in here, and again that's based on a purchase price of 55,000. And again, it's an approximate figure, but we try and allow for the top end figures. What we don't allow for, though, is people that may have an upset credit rating, and it may cost a little bit more in terms of securing a mortgage. With this one, we've also allowed a letting agency setup fee, so £199. With regards to this one, we sourced the letting agents. We found the letting agents that would work this area and we believe would find the right type of tenant for this property. That's possibly going a little bit more than we would normally do in terms of sourcing the right type of management company, but we do allow for a fee in there. Because this is going to be a home of multiple occupancy, the people that are renting this type of property are literally coming and moving in with a bag, a suitcase and themselves. So they do expect the property to be furnished, and by furnishing it to a reasonably good standard or a high standard, you're going to secure higher rents and a better type of person. So we've allowed in these figures £3,000. We've then allowed for renovation fees of £12,000, and you can see from that £12,000 there, you can see the bullet point here of what's included in that £12,000. So for this deal, When we would do a summary on our newsletter, we would say money in would be £35,585. But you can see from here, everything is accounted for and it's broken down. So when somebody is looking at a summary and go, oh yeah, I'm interested in property EDE 15, and they send us a text message, this is typically the type of spreadsheet that we would send back, and we would walk you through and we would explain and we would go through the what refurb you would expect to have to do on a property if that was the type of property you're looking for. We also do a lot of no hands-on property deals where literally you won't have to do anything other than become the owner of the property to benefit from the profit on a monthly basis. We do all sorts of type of deals. We do derelict houses as well. It depends on what your requirements are. We will aim to meet your requirements. But for this video, I'm just running through our fees. In terms of monthly expenditure, we base our mortgage on a 3% interest rate, okay, which again is a reasonably good interest rate for a buy-to-let mortgage, of course. We allow for a management fee, okay, so we allow, in this case, because we've sourced a management company, we know this management company charges 10% plus VAT, so again, we've allowed that in the figures, so that comes off the bottom line cost of the rent. We've also allowed for voids and maintenance. We generally typically put that between 5 and 10%, depending on the quality of the property that you're purchasing. 5% being it's recently been renovated and you're less likely to have any big issues coming up. 10%, again, all we're saying to people is just allow 10% to just drop into a bank account. So if and when something happens to the property in terms of maintenance, you've got a little bit of a pot there to cover the costs. Or if you have a void period being a time where you haven't got a tenant in the property, then you've got a little bit of funds there to subsidise that void period too. With regards to a HMO, which this one is, not all of them are, there's a licence that needs to be covered, and again, we've allowed for the licence fee. It's normally paid in one amount, but again, we've allowed for a fee here on this property of £13 a month, and that would cover that person for 5 years. Also, when you're doing a home of multiple occupancy, you cover the bills as well. So again, £300 to cover the bills. If you're doing a single let, you do not need a license. You do not need to cover the bills either. Okay, but this is just us running through how in detail we go through in terms of the figures that we come out at the other end. So the total income rent is over £7,500 and a return on investment of 21%. We try and give all returns on investments over 15%. And we could take these figures out. So we could take all these figures out, which some investment companies do. So they don't allow for a management fee. They don't allow for void periods. They wouldn't allow for that. They would allow for voids. And we could be promoting this deal at a 32% return on investment. We don't believe in doing that because we are passionate about giving the right investment today that will fulfill you long term, and we don't want to. We want to give you the deal exactly as it is. So I just wanted to quickly run through the figures. So next time you're looking at one of our newsletters and you see a deal and you see money in, you know that is the total money in, including the finder's fee, even though we may have listed finder's fee underneath, okay? And you will also see the return on investment, and you will know that that's inclusive of a management fee and also an amount for void periods and any other thing that we feel you may require. We will allow for that in that figure. So we are giving you all the information. All you need to do is show an interest on the newsletter by sending a text message, and then we can provide you with the full spreadsheet and arrange a time to go through those details with you. And again, if we feel renovations are required in the property, then we will break down those renovations and we will give you a ballpark figure of how much that would, how much to allow for when continuing with this with that type of deal. Okay, so hopefully you can see that we are into detail and we are into giving you the facts and telling you exactly as it is. We are real people helping real people make a passive income through bricks and mortar, which is property investing. So invest with ease, and hopefully it will reduce all the sleepless nights. I hope that's helped. We look forward to working with you.